Just shameful. That's the phrase blowing up across social media right now, and it's aimed directly at rapper Rick Ross after being spotted on a surprising Target run with his new girlfriend. But here's the twist that no one saw coming. Pastor Jamal Bryant has jumped into the conversation with a fiery response that's got everyone talking. Was this just a harmless outing, or is there something much deeper going on behind the scenes? Stick around, because the backlash, the clapbacks, and the secrets being exposed are about to shock you. Welcome back to the channel, where we break down the most controversial, trending, and downright scandalous stories that have everyone talking. Today, we're diving into the latest drama surrounding Rick Ross, his unexpected Target run with his new girlfriend, and the fiery reaction from Pastor Jamal Bryant that has stirred up a storm across social media. Now, on the surface, you might be thinking, what's the big deal about a celebrity shopping at Target? But here's where things get interesting. This wasn't just about Rick Ross casually picking up household items. The cameras, the timing, and the company he kept that day set off a firestorm of criticism. Social media users were quick to call it shameful, and what happened next pulled in a well-known pastor who never hesitates to speak his mind, Jamal Bryant. In this video, we're unpacking everything, from what really went down at Target, to why the backlash escalated so quickly, to the deeper implications of Jamal Bryant's response. You won't believe how many layers there are to this story, and trust me, you'll want to stick around until the end, because the connections, the controversies, and the fallout are bigger than anyone expected. Let's start with the moment that lit the internet on fire. Rick Ross, a hip-hop heavyweight known for his flashy lifestyle, luxury cars, and multi-million-dollar mansions, was suddenly spotted doing something no one expected: shopping at Target. Now, shopping at Target in itself isn't exactly newsworthy. Millions of people go there every day. But when Rick Ross, who constantly raps about Maybach music and flaunts a lifestyle of private jets and high-end brands, was seen pushing a red shopping cart alongside his new girlfriend, the public reaction was swift, harsh, and surprisingly divided. Eyewitnesses said Ross looked casual, even low-key, blending in with regular shoppers, while his girlfriend appeared comfortable by his side. But in today's world, where every move by a celebrity is scrutinized, it didn't take long for photos and short clips to hit social media. Almost immediately, the narrative began to spiral. Fans who admire Ross for his success called the moment refreshing and real, praising him for not being too big to do normal things. But the other side of the internet wasn't so kind. Critics quickly labeled the outing just shameful, pointing to the optics of a man who constantly portrays himself as larger than life, suddenly appearing ordinary. Some comments even questioned Ross's authenticity as an artist, claiming that this Target run exposed a contradiction between his rap persona and his real life. Others suggested that the controversy wasn't really about Target at all. It was about the company he was keeping. His new girlfriend, who was by his side during the shopping trip, instantly became part of the conversation, with people digging into her background, speculating on the nature of their relationship, and asking whether Ross's public image could take a hit because of it. And this is where the story really begins to take a turn, because while the memes, the jokes, and the criticism kept pouring in, one voice rose above the chatter, a voice that made the controversy even louder. Pastor Jamal Bryant, known for his unapologetic commentary on celebrity culture and morality, decided to weigh in. His response didn't just fan the flames, it lit an entirely new fire. But here's the shocking part. They weren't just words of criticism. Jamal Bryant's fiery remarks hinted at something deeper, something personal, that left fans questioning what the real story behind this shameful moment actually was. Now, if there's one thing we know about Pastor Jamal Bryant, it's that he doesn't hold back. Whether it's addressing politics, celebrity scandals, or issues within the church, Bryant has a reputation for speaking with passion, authority, and sometimes controversy. So when Rick Ross's Target run began trending, it was only a matter of time before Bryant entered the conversation. During a recent sermon, Bryant addressed the story in a way that immediately grabbed headlines. Instead of brushing it off as just another celebrity sighting, he framed it as a symbol of something much bigger, what he called a disconnect between image and integrity. According to Bryant, when public figures build their careers on a certain persona, they carry a responsibility to live up to it. And in his eyes, Ross being caught doing something so mundane with his new girlfriend sent the wrong message. Bryant's exact words were fiery, saying, "You cannot present yourself as a king in the music, living in castles and palaces, and then be caught in public moving like you're common. It's not about Target, it's about testimony." That line alone set social media ablaze. Some applauded him for calling out what they saw as hypocrisy in celebrity culture, while others accused him of being judgmental and out of touch with reality. After all, what's wrong with a wealthy man shopping at Target if that's what he chooses to do? But it didn't stop there. Bryant went further, making pointed comments about Ross's new relationship. While he never mentioned the girlfriend by name, his words seemed laced with implications, suggesting that who Ross chooses to stand beside him in public says just as much about him as his music does. "Be careful who you let push the cart with you," Bryant warned his congregation, "because some partnerships will drag your witness down to the discount aisle." That statement sent shockwaves across multiple platforms. Was Bryant indirectly criticizing Ross's new girlfriend? Was he hinting at something about her background or reputation that the public didn't fully know? Fans and critics alike began to speculate, dissecting the sermon clip that quickly went viral. For Ross's supporters, it felt like an unnecessary personal attack. For Bryant's followers, it was a reminder of how easily public figures can fall from grace when their personal choices don't match the images they sell. What made this moment explode even further online was the timing. Rick Ross has been trying to keep his public image polished with ongoing music projects, business ventures, and even TV appearances. To have a prominent pastor, one who is no stranger to media attention himself, call him out so publicly added fuel to a fire that was already burning. And of course, the internet did what it always does. It took sides, turned the drama into memes, and made the story impossible to ignore. But here's where it gets even more complicated. Because Jamal Bryant's words weren't just taken as commentary on Ross, they raised questions about Bryant himself. After all, this isn't the first time the pastor has made headlines for stepping into celebrity drama. And in this case, some began asking, was this about holding Ross accountable, or was it about Bryant keeping himself in the spotlight? And trust me, the deeper we go, the more tangled this web becomes. Because what happened next dragged Jamal Bryant's own past controversies back into the conversation, and suddenly, the spotlight wasn't just on Rick Ross anymore. As Jamal Bryant's sermon clip made its way across Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, and YouTube, the reactions came in fast and furious. And what's fascinating about this moment is how divided the responses were. On one side, you had fans and critics who agreed with Bryant, praising him for saying what they've been thinking about celebrity culture all along. But on the other side, a much larger wave of people came to Rick Ross's defense, and they didn't hold back when it came to calling out Bryant himself. Let's start with the pro-Bryant camp. Supporters argued that celebrities like Rick Ross live off of an image that they've carefully crafted, an image that sells records, book deals, and business ventures. They pointed out that Ross built his brand on being the boss, a man who doesn't just rap about wealth, but embodies it. In that sense, they felt Bryant was right to highlight the contradictions. As one user tweeted, "Ross can't sell us million-dollar dreams and then get caught bargain hunting with a side chick. The math ain't mathin'." Others chimed in with comments like, "Bryant just reminded us that your public testimony has to match your private reality." But then came the tidal wave of opposition. Fans of Rick Ross and even casual observers felt that Bryant had crossed the line. Many argued that there's absolutely nothing shameful about shopping at Target, regardless of your tax bracket. In fact, some saw it as a positive sign of humility, proof that Ross isn't so far removed from reality that he can't step into a normal store. If Ross wants to buy toothpaste at Target, let him, one TikTok creator said in a viral post that racked up hundreds of thousands of views. Another person wrote, "This is why people get tired of pastors inserting themselves into drama. Ross ain't do nothing wrong. Y'all just mad he's happy." And then came the more personal critiques of Jamal Bryant. Internet users wasted no time reminding the world that Bryant himself has faced a fair share of controversy. His history of highly publicized relationships, personal scandals, and headline-making sermons became ammunition for Ross's supporters. Memes popped up overnight comparing Ross pushing a cart at Target to Bryant's own questionable decisions in the past. The message was clear: before calling out someone else's lifestyle, maybe he should take a harder look at his own. What really made the conversation explode, though, was the way it blurred the lines between music culture, church culture, and internet culture. Suddenly, this wasn't just a debate about Rick Ross or Jamal Bryant. It became a larger conversation about authenticity, accountability, and the double standards placed on public figures. Some defended Bryant's right to critique as a pastor. Others questioned why religious leaders feel the need to publicly drag celebrities when private conversations could have been more effective. Meanwhile, Ross himself stayed quiet, at least publicly. That silence only fueled speculation. Was he ignoring the drama because it wasn't worth his time? Or was he preparing a response through music, social media, or an interview that could flip the entire narrative back in his favor? And this is where the suspense deepens. Because while Ross stayed silent, the controversy started uncovering things about his new relationship, things that may explain why Bryant's comments cut so deep. And when those details surfaced, the conversation shifted yet again, this time focusing on who exactly Rick Ross is dating and why that relationship has become such a lightning rod for public debate. While the Target run itself sparked plenty of conversation, what really intensified the backlash wasn't just Rick Ross holding a red shopping cart, it was who was walking beside him. His new girlfriend instantly became the subject of gossip blogs, fan speculation, and social media sleuthing. And in today's culture, once the internet decides to dig, nothing stays hidden for long. So, who is this mystery woman that suddenly has Rick Ross trending? According to online reports and fan-driven investigations, she's not a complete stranger to the spotlight. Some sources suggest she's been connected to industry circles before, while others claim she's someone who prefers to keep her life private, away from the constant glare of celebrity culture. But her quiet presence didn't stop fans from dissecting everything, from her outfit during the Target run, to her past relationships, to what her being with Ross might represent for his image. This is where the story gets messy. Social media users quickly split into camps. One group rushed to defend her, saying she shouldn't be judged just for being with a high-profile rapper. "Y'all don't even know this woman and already y'all tearing her down," one user posted. Another wrote, "She looks happy, he looks happy, and that's all that should matter." But another group saw her presence in a completely different light. Some accused her of being a clout chaser, suggesting that she was with Ross for the lifestyle rather than the man. Others brought up unverified rumors about her past, dragging her name into narratives that had little to do with the actual Target trip. And then Jamal Bryant's sermon comments added gasoline to the fire when he said, "Be careful who you let push the cart with you, because some partnerships will drag your witness down to the discount aisle." Many viewers felt like that wasn't just a metaphor. It was a direct shot at Ross's new girlfriend. Suddenly, it wasn't just about Ross's choices as a public figure. It became about the woman by his side and whether she was helping to elevate him or quietly pulling him into controversy. That's when the debate took on an even deeper layer. People began asking, is it fair to judge Ross's girlfriend for simply existing in the public eye with him? Or does being connected to a global superstar automatically mean you're subject to the same level of scrutiny and expectation? Some argued that women in these situations get unfairly dragged more than the men they're with, while others insisted that you sign up for the spotlight when you date someone like Rick Ross. Meanwhile, gossip outlets began publishing side-by-side comparisons between Ross's past relationships and his new girlfriend. Was this a step up, a step down, or simply a new chapter? Every photo, every detail, every old post was suddenly under a microscope. And as always, the internet didn't hold back. Comments ranged from compliments about her beauty to cruel attacks that revealed more about online culture than about the actual woman at the center of it all. But here's the thing, this wasn't just about Rick Ross's girlfriend. The controversy surrounding her presence with him tied directly back to bigger questions about Ross's authenticity as an artist and a businessman. Could he continue projecting an image of wealth, dominance, and success while being portrayed online as just another guy at Target with his girl? Or was this a humanizing moment that fans could actually connect with, making him more relatable than ever? And if you thought the story couldn't get any more layered, think again, because what happened next wasn't just about the girlfriend or the pastor's comments. It was about the cultural clash between rap celebrity culture and church commentary. When two powerful worlds, hip-hop and the pulpit, collide, the fallout is always explosive. And in this case, it was only just beginning. At the heart of this entire controversy is something bigger than a Target run, a new girlfriend, or even a fiery sermon. What we're really seeing is a cultural collision between two powerful spheres, the world of hip-hop and the world of the pulpit. And when those two forces clash, the result is never quiet. It's explosive. Let's start with Rick Ross. For years, he has built his brand on the idea of power, wealth, and resilience. His music tells the story of a man who came from the streets and carved his way into the luxury lifestyle he now enjoys. To his fans, Ross represents hustle, success, and the belief that you can turn your life into something extraordinary. But that image doesn't exist in a vacuum. It depends on a certain level of consistency. Every public move, every relationship, and every business venture contributes to maintaining the boss persona that fans expect. Now, contrast that with Jamal Bryant. As a high-profile pastor, Bryant's platform is rooted in morality, accountability, and spiritual leadership, at least in theory. His job, in the eyes of his congregation, is to call out hypocrisy, to challenge behavior that doesn't align with the testimony people claim to carry, and to spark conversations that reach beyond the pulpit. But here's the twist. Bryant himself is no stranger to controversy. His personal life has been under scrutiny for years, and critics argue that his habit of inserting himself into celebrity scandals often does more to keep him in the headlines than to build his ministry. When Ross and Bryant's worlds collided over something as simple as a Target run, it exposed a deeper cultural tension. Hip-hop has always thrived on authenticity, or at least the illusion of it. The audience wants to believe that rappers live what they rap. But church culture, particularly leaders like Bryant, demand a different kind of accountability, a moral consistency that doesn't allow room for contradictions, even in something as innocent as pushing a cart through Target. And that's why this moment blew up the way it did. It wasn't just about Ross buying household goods. It wasn't just about his girlfriend. It was about two powerful narratives clashing in public view. The narrative of the hip-hop boss who lives above the ordinary, and the narrative of the pastor who believes public testimony should never be compromised. The irony, of course, is that both Ross and Bryant depend on public perception. Ross needs fans to buy into his image. Bryant needs followers to respect his voice. And when those two needs collide, the internet becomes the battleground. Social media became the courtroom where fans, critics, and trolls alike delivered their verdicts. some siding with Ross's humanity, others siding with Bryant's fiery accountability, and many just enjoying the spectacle of it all. But here's the real question. What does this mean moving forward? Will Ross respond, maybe even using his music to clap back at Bryant and reclaim his narrative? Will Bryant double down, using Ross as an example in future sermons? Or will this all fade into the endless cycle of online controversies, replaced by the next scandal tomorrow?